So, I'm going to get started on the Legend of Korra 2 Q&A. So, here we go. Starting off with Grod Hanks. And Grod Hanks' first question is, if you could make a dark avatar, how would you do it? If by dark avatar you mean a better version of the dark avatar than Unalaq was? I think the best way you can do a dark avatar type thing is to maybe make it the anti-avatar. This person can be reincarnated like the avatar, and be where the avatar is the symbol of balance. The anti-avatar, the dark avatar, is the symbol of chaos. Have that person have its own reincarnation cycle. Constantly come back around the same time as the Avatar does and fight that Avatar, kind of like similar with Rava and Vatu. Have that kind of thing. And you missed a really good opportunity to do something like that with Legend of Korra. On the other hand, I can kind of see, not being able to do the Dark Avatar thing because, one, when he got reincarnated, he would be a kid again, whereas Korra, he'd be a baby all over again. And plus, they only had 2 seasons, and I doubt they wanted to do more spirits. They kind of wanted to shy away from the spirit stuff. So maybe something like that. Make it like the Avatar's Antichrist, I guess you could say. Second question. What are your thoughts on the Azula Korra ship? I've seen those around a few times. They're not as big as they were when Korra... This was before Korra was even announced. Before Korra even aired, when we just had clips of not even clips, like pictures of Korra and a few things from Nickelodeon before the first season premiered. I think that it was really cool. They shipped Korra a lot with Azula and Yue. A lot with Azula. Yeah, there was a lot of Korra and Yue. In fact, I think Korra and Yue are still a thing. Azula and Korra is pretty cool too, though. Your third question is, who is the weaker villain, Amon or Unalaq? I'm going to say Unalaq because Amon, even though he was he had such good potential, and then, the end of Book 1 kind of just really was just like, what? Fucking really? That just took away everything. But I will say this, Amon had a presence. When he was considered a badass, he had a presence. He knew how to drive people behind him. He was a dangerous opponent and kind of like a chess master in a way. But then again, thank you, Book 1, for completely ruining that villain, almost Azula-level villain. But now we have Kuvira and Zahir and Kuvira to kind of fill that role. Yay! Unalaq, on the other hand, was just, you knew he was bad news the moment, you knew he was generic villain number 1. You knew he was Scar, waterbending Scar, or waterbending Loki. You knew the moment you saw him, you're like, yep, that's the bad guy. It was just like, it's not like with Amon where he was built up as the villain. Like, right the moment you saw him and he's doing all these master plans and all that, you're like, dude, we already know this is the bad guy. And he just came off as one one-note villain. But on the other hand, he never really got Amon. Well, the only reason we know why he hates bending was because his father, and that's kind of stupid. But, again, they're both kind of have their weaknesses, but I would give Unalaq's definitely the weakest. If I was to rank it, Unalaq is definitely by far the weakest villain of Legend of Korra, probably of all of Avatar, too. Now that I think about it. But yeah, thank you for those questions, Grod Hanks. Moving right along to Alistair Boneman, whose first question is, what's your opinion on all this Avatar Aang versus Korra stuff floating around the internet? In your opinion, who would win? That's really tough because Korra, normally I would say Aang because Aang was the more fully realized Avatar and he really was dedicated to his work. Korra, on the other hand, Korra's going to be kicking some ass soon. She's taken 3 years to finally... it took her a while It took her, 2 seasons to, get to being a good character again. But, yeah. She's actually kind of kicking ass now. So, this is, kind of tough to say. I'm going to say a draw. Because normally I would... if you asked me this question around Book 2... I would have said, Aang would definitely stomp her into the ground. But, Korra's making a comeback, so I don't know. Third question. What would the Korra team do if kaiju started walking around walking all over the Avatar world? Depends on what kaiju you would have. Are we talking like kaiju from Pacific Rim, Godzilla level kaiju, or Gamera kaiju, or just kaiju in Pacific? In specific, I mean. It'd be tough. I mean, you'd see Republic City get wrecked a lot. That's for sure. I don't know, really. And it's kind of... I don't want to say anything, but Jason Voorhees and I are kind of working on something wicked. Coming next year, coming soon, as in next year soon. Around next year, probably. Depending on how long it takes to finish, Wrath of the Fallen and, the final chapter of the New Icon Chronicles. But yeah, projecting around next year, you're going to be something that may give a better answer for that question. I don't want to say more than that. So thank you for that question, those questions, Alistair Boneman. I missed one of your questions. I'm sorry. I skipped over your second question. I'm sorry. So let me answer this real quick. What do you think of an Evil Dead Legend of Korra crossover? How would it go? And do you think Ash would hit on Korra? Well, since Korra's 21 now, yeah, Ash would definitely be macking on her. And Asami, too. Those two would get along so well. Just the half-cocked kind of strong-headed kind of way. Now, with the Deadites, I'd say like maybe they kind of explained that the Deadites are like corrupted spirits. Maybe there's something like that in a way. Or dark spirit. Yeah, they're corrupted spirits or something like that. And I don't know. Deadite benders would be kind of badass. So thank you for those questions, Alistair Boneman. The next set of questions come from King Nazaru, who asks, what do you think Korra's reaction would be to seeing Goku's Super Saiyan God form and Goku's reaction seeing her in the Avatar state? I think here's Korra's reaction to Super Saiyan God Goku. Fuck. Yeah, that would pretty much be it right there. And here's Goku's reaction to the Avatar state. Not bad. That would really be it. Because the Avatar state, really, because Goku, I mean, yeah, the Avatar state's really powerful, but Goku literally became a god. And I don't want to sound like a DBZ fanboy, but yeah, they just make Goku way too strong, and the Super Saiyan God mode just proves that they just love making Goku more powerful. Even like Korra in the Avatar state, like I said, would be like, fuck. Anyway. So your second question is, what do you think it would be what would be the first thing Asami would say if she met Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Here's her reaction right here. That's creepy. That would literally be it, right there. I think Asami would just be freaked out and partially intrigued. And your final question is, when is Legend of Korra going to tell us what became of Ty Lee after joining the Kyoshi Warriors? You know how much I love Ty Lee. That's the rest of what of King Nazaru said. I like Ty Lee just fine, but King Nazaru is definitely the bigger Ty Lee fan. I don't think we'll ever get to know what happened in Legend of Korra. I don't think they'll ever explain what happened to Ty Lee, unless Mike and Brian pull some random ass fact out of their ass. Because they literally do that most of the time at cons. I mean, they don't have cons anymore, but at Q&As, they literally pull these weird things out of the whole Mei and Zuko thing. Like, oh, Zuko had this shell that Mei gave her as a kid, and he just kept it. That's like, we didn't see that. Don't say that in the background. Put it on the show. So maybe we'll get something in the comics, Nazaru. Maybe we'll get something in the comics to explain what happened to Ty Lee, but I don't think it would be. I'd be pleasantly surprised to see if they got a past mention of Ty Lee or something. And I wouldn't mind that at all. But I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get that. That's just how I see it. They probably won't throw that in there. But thank you for those questions, King Nazaru. Next comes my boy, Jason Voorhees, 2011. Since someone's already asked about Korra and Godzilla, what do you think about a crossover between Korra and Gamera? That'd be really cool because Korra is the Korra's the bridge between two, both worlds, and Gamera's the guardian of the universe. I think it would be really cool to see those two unite and fight together, against the Gauss. Again, I would be going by Heisei Gamera. I could just see Korra fighting alongside Gamera, and just this legion of Gauss, or even the Legion from, Advent of Legion. That'd be really cool, too. That'd be that'd be so awesome. I think just seeing them fight back, I can just imagine it now. Korra on, Gamera's shoulder, and there's just this huge amount of Gauss coming to Republic City, and Korra and Gamera are standing on the edge of Republic City, and they're, the only ones there, and she looks at it, and she's sitting on Gamera's shoulder, and she's just like, let's do this, and just goes in the Avatar state, and Gamera roars, and they both start shooting off to this wave of Gauss. There you go. Awesome scene right there. So your second question is, favorite character on the show besides Asami, Varric, and Zahir? Most of you guys know that those are pretty much my three favorite characters right there. Asami, Varric, and Zahir. Because Varric, when you think about it, was the better villain of the series than Udalak of Book 2. He made off as a better villain, but now he's just an awesome supporting character. And Asami's always awesome, and Zahir, probably the best villain, but I think Kuvira. Kuvira is going to be one of my favorite villains, depending on how they use her for the rest of the season. I think Kuvira is going to be, probably from that one episode, I was like, you're one of my new favorite characters now, Kuvira. Don't get fucked over. I'm sorry, I always think that, always going back to Amon, how they fucked him over. Tenzin. Tenzin's always good. Kind of like Tano. I kind of want Tano back. Maybe as an air, when he lost his waterbending, he got airbending after harmonic convergence. Maybe getting Tano as an airbender. Give him a little. I think there was room to get him more character. And again, that Tano. Korra and Tano, I'd prefer that more than Korra and Mako. But Korra-sami all the way, Korra-sami all the way. Anywho, so there you go. Tenzin, Kuvira, and Tano on a good day. Tano on a good day. So thank you for that question. Now that Squirrel... Oh, Sue is another one of my favorite characters. Sue's another good character. And Julie. Julie, I don't know why. Julie's just awesome. So there you go, that little extra bit. And now on to the third question. Now that Squirrel Girl suits and mechs are now a reality in this universe, what other modern technology would you like to see in the semi-modern steampunk-like form in Book 4? Ooh, good question. I'd like to see updated Fire Nation tanks, because we had those World War I-esque kind of tanks. Maybe we can get maybe Sherman or tanks that look like Fire Nation tanks that look like the World War II Panzer or King Tiger tank, only used for good. I would like to see. Actually, I can't really think of anything else because they've already got it. I think another cool thing would be missiles. Missiles would be also cool. Missiles would be a lot of fun. Television, yeah, the start of. We already have movers. We've got movers, so maybe the start of television. Yeah, there you go, TV. So thank you for those questions, Jason Voorhees. And moving on now to Zach the Thunder King. And Zach's first question is, if Legend of Korra continued in comic book form, what do you want to see in the comic? I would like to see Zahir come back. That's what Zach said. I would like to see Zahir come back if he doesn't show up in book... I have a feeling he'll show up again somewhere in Book 4, because he is still alive. In the comic books, I would like to see maybe some... I think it would be cool to get some solo title. I know they're probably what they're going to do with the Legend of Korra comics is probably do what they're doing now with the Avatar comics, is to put out one little tiny graphic novel in 3 parts in one year, which is annoying as hell, and all those stories have been boring. Well, The Rift has been okay. The other two were just fuck. Yeah, but The Rift has just been okay at best. I think it would be cool to like maybe do single issues once a month. I think you can do story arc type. I think it's time to make it not like so much like a graphic novel, bi-monthly type comic. I think it's time to give it a monthly, one issue series and give it this series story arc, and maybe even get some solo titles. I would be okay with a Lynn series. I'd be okay with Legend of Korra, Lynn series of her, doing like these hard-boiled detective type stories. That'd be cool. Or I'd even find, even though he's not one of my favorite characters, Mako. Mako doing detective type stories. I mean, he is a cop, so he's a detective now. Excuse me. I think it would be cool to do some hard-boiled type stories like that of him doing some crime work in the Republic City underworld, and maybe do some origin comics. Maybe talk about the origin of the Red Lotus. Talk about expand more on where Zahir, Pali, Ghazan, and Minghua came from. Talk about do mini-series on their origins, because all we got was one little we got some origin on Zahir and Pali, and that wasn't even much. We don't even know where the hell Ghazan and Minghua came from and how they mastered their bending skills. So maybe some origin comics. That's just how I feel. So thank you for that question. Your next one is, if you were working on Legend of Korra, which character would you give more development to? Tano. I would make Tano a bigger character, because again, I think you could make after he got tore down as a character in the first part, and then we saw him all broken and shit. Maybe come back and like, I have airbending now I'm going to use it for good. Because again, Zuko started out as a dickbag, and then he became awesome throughout the entire story of Avatar. So why can't Tano come back and be not a dickbag anymore? Also, give more time to Varric and Julie. More time for Varric and Julie. Maybe even make them a couple. Kind of like, Tony. Kind of make them like Tony and Pepper. Because I feel like that's what their relation would be. Something like Tony and Pepper from the Iron Man comics. What else? Who else would I give? No, I think that's it. Also, Sue's other kids, like Huon and Wing and Wei, her other kids. Yeah, I want to know what happened. Give a little more time to her other kids. So thank you for that question. Your third one is, since we got lava bending in Season 3, what other type of bending do you want to see? Shadow bending, like a bender that can control their shadow or control darkness. Maybe use that as like a lost form of bending that's forbidden. Yeah, shadow bending would be cool. Gravity bending, controlling gravity. Let's see. Storm bending. There you go. Maybe that's another level of air bending where you can literally control a storm. There you go. That's pretty much all I got. So thank you for those questions, Zach the Thunder King. Next comes from Burnouter7, who asks, what would Korra and her friends think of Skull Island if they got shipwrecked there? Ooh, I love this. Kong and Korra. That would be so cool, seeing Kong and Korra, crossover between Kong and Korra. But how I would do it is maybe how I would do it is not have it with Korra, but in that 3-year time gap of somewhere early in the 3-year time gap with where Varric Varric is he's looking to put an expedition together to make another mover without Nuktuk, and he gets the map to Skull Island. So he brings Asami, Mako, and Bolin with him, and even Tenzin. Tenzin goes with him. And Tenzin and Jinora travel with them. They go there. Asami gets captured by the Islanders, gets brought to Kong, and everyone else has to go rescue her. And Varric is just like, he's the Carl Denham of the story. But I think what he would do is Mako would ask him, so what? You want us to take the monkey back? Take this thing back to Republic City? To which Varric would go, oh God, no, that's stupid. What if this thing got loose? I'd be liable for all the damage it caused. Hell no, I'm not taking it to Republic City. Because I think Varric would understand, oh wait, if this thing got lost, I would be viable for all this. So I think it would be really cool. So, second question is, which character would you kill off and how would it affect the others? I'd probably kill off Bolin. Even though Bolin, you may become a better character in Book 4, man, those past 3 seasons were not too kind on you. But I won't. I'll say this: I'm not. If I were to kill Bolin, it wouldn't be because he was one of the most annoying characters. I do it because I think it would have an emotional impact because him and Korra were close friends. That's obviously Mako's brother. Him and Asami were he was the guy who kind of brought had these funny moments to keep everyone kind of light on their feet. And I think that would be his thing is he would just all the joy would be gone. All Bolin's dead, even though it was albeit annoying joy, it still kind of kept them light on stuff. So I think it would be. I think it would be devastating. Also, I think Tenzin's death would probably be a problem. So if I killed off Tenzin, that would be like full circle. Because if Tenzin died, that would mean Jinora would really have to step up as the real airbending master because she is even more powerful. She's kind of more powerful than her father. And if Tenzin died, that would mean all of the she would kind of be filling Tenzin's shoes of fulfilling her grandfather's dream of bringing back the Air Nation, and it's all kind of dependent on her. So I think that, and also that was Korra's best teacher, so. Pretty much, that would be devastating as well. So Tenzin or Bolin. So your third question is if Korra and her friends got transported to the DC and the Marvel universe, what do you think of both universes as a whole, like heroes and villains and technology? I think DC universe, it would be like, man, this just feels like a universe. They just threw everything and decided to reboot it. It feels like it was kind of forced, and nobody wants this. I'm sorry, that was being biased. No, I think it would be a lot of fun, and Korra hanging out with Supergirl would be a lot. Seeing her and Supergirl team up would be a lot of fun. Or alongside the Titans, that'd be cool. Mako meeting Batman would be something. Although Batman would probably be like, beat it. And Bolin and Beast Boy. There you go, Bolin and Beast Boy. The Marvel Universe, Korra and Carol Danvers teaming up would be a lot of fun. Seeing those two hang out. And Korra just hanging around all the female superheroes like She-Hulk and Hellcat and Black Widow, and so being just surrounded by so many female characters. And like I said, Asami would just be in awe of Iron Man, as I've talked about before. So thank you for those questions, Burnouter7. Next set of questions come from Kirby Sonic Team, who ask, as time has progressed and the books have gotten better and offered insight on past characters, Korra mainly, do you start to appreciate the previous books that you didn't really like much more in a positive light? I'd love to say that, Team Kirby, Kirby Sonic Team, I really would, but here's the thing. It's still kind of hard to watch, and I still find problems when I go back, especially in Book 1. I can find a lot of problems in Book 1. I think that's kind of the thing, is that it's really hard to watch those episodes, because it's, like, again, you kind of wish, why couldn't have been, what was causing the first 2 seasons to be as bad as they were? That's what I'm really upset about, is because these, season 3 and Book 4, Book 3 was awesome, and then Book 4 had its Book 4 hasn't had any problems. It's astonishing, those past 2 episodes. So it kind of angers me, really, that when I go back and watch Book 1 and 2, especially Book 2, and Book 1 has some major flaws too, I look at it and go, Where was this? Why couldn't it have been this consecutively? We could probably, you guys could have gotten, web show, it could have stayed on TV if it wasn't this annoyingly bad. That's what really angers me, Kirby Sonic, is that you look at how good, Book 3 and how Book 4 has been good so far, and then you look back and you're like, where the hell was all this good character development stuff in Book 1 and 2? That's what really bugs me, so, not really. Your third question, if you were to rate each season on a letter grade scale, okay, what would you rate each season on Korra on a letter grade scale? Okay, Book 1, C. I know, I give it a lot of shit, but Amon was a good he was better than Unalak. Actually, no, I think I would give it I'd give it a D. Like, just a D right there, because there were so many flaws, and Korra just got everything out of convenience. Again, she got her avatar, she got her bending back out of convenience, she got air bending out of convenience, the whole love triangle thing was just goddamn annoying, and it was really painful to watch through. There were just little things that were good there. Just really not bad. But yeah, D for Book 1. I think a C for Book 2, because here's the thing. As bad as it was, I think after it got better, it kind of got better after after Beginnings. After Beginnings was so good, and then, from Beginnings then on, it's good, but, before Beginnings, dear Lord, is that a lot of shit. And also, again, the ending is, the ending just comes out of convenience, but god damn it, I can't help, look away from a giant monster fight. I can't look away and say it's bad. God damn it, my inner kaiju fan is like, you admit it, you liked it. Book 3, I give it a solid A. I give it a really good A. It had everything I wanted from an Avatar series, but it just kind of felt like, that ending was a little painful to watch through, because again, I feel like there were a few little mistakes they made at the end, but yeah, all in all, just tiny little nitpicks at the end of the season, here and there at the end of the season, but all in all, I really enjoyed Book 3. The villains were a lot better. The story was very cohesive. Korra wasn't a bitch anymore, and everyone was just kind of working as functional. And so, even though Book as of this recording, keep that in mind. As of this recording, there's only been 2 episodes of Book 4. Dear God, A+ so far. I mean, I don't know where it's going to go the rest of the season, but those 2 episodes, man, especially Korra alone, that was, dear God, that's got to be one of the best, not just Legend of Korra episodes, but not just Legend of Korra episodes, but Avatar episodes in general. And possibly one of my favorite episodes in animation, period. That was so good. Just goddamn, Korra alone was such a great episode. Okay, your third question is, what way would you like Korra to end, in your opinion? And that would make sense, that would make the series amazing, and what way would it end okay, he's basically asking, Kirby Sonic is basically asking, what way would I think would be really awesome to see it end, and what way could they make me go, fuck all of you, you just killed the mood. So he's basically asking what ending would I really hate to see and what ending I'd really not like to see. Well, for one thing, I don't want an ending where it's just one big story being told to someone, or it's all in the imagination of one kid and playing with a snow globe. Kudos if you got that reference. That would be one way to make me hate it. I think one way to make it awesome is to maybe have it that Korra grew up. Korra's older. She's in her you see in the final parts of the episode, she's going on in years, and she's become known as the greatest Avatar. She brought back the Air Nation. She fought off the Equalists. She stopped an apocalypse from happening. She did all of this in the long span of her life, and became known as, the legend of Korra is that she was known as the greatest Avatar. Not the last Avatar, but the one Avatar that did so much in her life. I mean, Aang did probably the biggest thing. He stopped the 100-Year War. But, Korra, when you think about it, Korra did a lot. She stopped a very, an anti-bending move that would have wiped out benders. You also have, she pretty much stopped the apocalypse from happening by stopping Vatu. She also, she managed to stop an assassination plot on all leaders with Zahir and all that at the cost of her own, and also brought back the airbenders. That was something even Aang couldn't do. And, I'd really like to see, she's gotten on in years, and maybe have it, the best way you could do it is that at the end of the episode, Korra's, in her 90s, she's in her bed, she's on her deathbed, and she passes away, and, everyone's in, just weeping, and then it cuts away and it says 3 weeks later, and then we see this baby crying in the Earth Kingdom, and it's and then it says at the bottom, the legend continues. There you go. It's the cycle continues of you see a young earthbending, a young baby being born in the Earth Kingdom, and a baby crying. It's a boy or a girl or whatever, and it's just the legend. The legend continues. I don't know. That's just something I'd like to see of Korra. Korra being hailed as the greatest Avatar, and the baby's born, and you've got old Mako there. Old Mako is there, seeing the baby, and he's holding the next Avatar in his arms, or old Asami. Yeah, old Asami would be probably better, because I like Asami more. Again, being biased here. And she's holding in his arm, it would be holding the baby in her arms, and she's just he's she just looked down at the baby that's going to be the next Avatar after Korra, and she just says, hello again, to it. That would be so awesome. The other way you could just, I don't know, again, I think the worst way you could say is, it's everything you saw in Legend of Korra was just a story being told to a couple of kids by an old man who turns out to be Mako or Bolin or something. That would piss me off. I hate endings that are like that. I really do. So thank you again, Kirby Sonic, for that, for those questions. Moving right along to Major Badass, and Major Badass asks, if we're gonna go into the Avatar world, what type of bender would you want to be? What type of animal companion would you want? Okay, what kind of bender would I want to be, and what kind of animal would I want? Okay, since I'm born in the horoscope, I'm born under firebending. I know, everyone wants firebending, but hey, controlling fire is having the power of fire would be kind of fucking badass. I can't lie, and again, it's under my horoscope of being, a fire, being born under the, a month of fire or whatever the hell it is. Astronomy confuses me sometimes. So I think the best way I could go, also in terms of animals, I think the one animal I would want is platypus bear, because fuck you, platypus bear. It's a bear and a platypus put together. How can you not say no to a platypus bear? I ask you people. Really, would you not how could you pass up a platypus bear? Yeah, so there you go. Firebending and platypus bear. There you go. Second question. Do you think it would be cool to have human spirit offspring in the world of Avatar? People, getting it freaky with spirits. I'm surprised, if this was the real world and we had spirits walking, if Korra did what she did in, the real world, people would be trying to fuck spirits. There would be some kinky-ass people out there trying to fuck a spirit. I'm just saying, you know it, I know it, we all know that kind of crazy shit would happen. We all know that would happen. Don't deny it. I kind of imagine there are fanfics already out there of, human spirit relations. I kind of imagine that, some, a group of earthbending girls getting it on with, living vines in the spirit wilds of Republic City. I kind of imagine there's probably fan fiction of that out there somewhere. So there you go. There's my answer, Major Badass. And your final question is, do you think you'd be able to handle Korra in bed, or do you think she would break your pelvis? She's not like Amazon strong. Although I am kind of afraid she probably... I don't know, like... I could probably handle her. Yeah, I could probably handle her. Could she handle me? That's another question. That's another story, ladies and gentlemen. So, anyway, think of those questions, Major Badass. And your next question is... Oh, wait, sorry. Next set of questions come from Robert Avram. Hope I'm saying that last name right. Robert Avram asks, first question is, after the show ends, do you think they would make a Legend of Korra movie? I would hope so. Just don't, get involved with Shyamalan, Mike and Brian. You should learn from your mistakes. Sorry, I had to get some water. Yeah, learn from your mistakes, guys. Don't trust Shyamalan and do it animated. Do it animated. Yeah, that'd probably be the best way. Second question: if they did make a Legend of Korra movie, who would you like to direct? It, and please don't say M. Night Shyamalan. Don't worry, I wasn't, dude. Don't worry. I think the guy I would like to have on an Avatar: Last Airbender movie. I mean, not Avatar, Legend of Korra movie. Brad Bird. Most of you guys would know Brad Bird best for being the director of The Incredibles and Ratatouille, as well as the Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol movie, and soon to do so. He's done a lot of Disney and Pixar movies, more or less. He's done a lot of those. I think he's really good at doing. I think he's really good at handling a lot of character and interconnecting moments. I think he's really good at doing a lot of family-oriented shows and a lot of action. He's really good at doing some dark scenes here and there. I think he can really do something cool with Korra. So Brad Bird would be awesome to do a Legend of Korra movie. There's my pick, Brad Bird, right there. And your third question is, if you had a chance to change anything in the show, what would you change? I don't even know where to begin with book 1 and 2. Book 3 and 4, you're good. Book 1 and 2, oh, I've got such an overhaul for you guys. Not make Korra an outrageous bitch from book 1 and 2. Make her learn her mistakes from book 1 and bring that into book 2. Also, not make Mako a complete asshole. Bolin, be smarter. Asami, she stays awesome. She can stay awesome. There's no need to change there. And that's just a few things I would change. I could go on and I could just be bitching all night, guys. You don't even know, but I've got a lot of questions to answer, and I don't want to bore you guys. So think of those questions, Robert Avram. Next comes Robert Larson, and first question is, which Legend of Korra girl would you most like to have sex with? Again with the sex question, guys. Come on, man. There's a lot of sex questions going on here. Asami, right out the gate. Asami, I'd hit that hard. I would hit that so hard. You guys don't even know how hard I would just tear that up. Lynn, maybe? I don't know. She's kind of... I don't know. In the words of Spike Spiegel, I love a girl who can kick my ass. I mean, I know she's like in her 50s, but... shit, I'm willing to try it. Eska would be another one. Because I'm pretty sure she would do anal. I just said that out loud. Because Eska look like she'd be freaky. Like, she's the silent type. She'd be some freaky shit. So Eska's another one. But Asami at the top of the list. Maybe even Julie. Julie would be also on there. She's. I think I could do that. I could probably, slam that hard as well. So here's how I would rank it. Asami, Eska, Julie, Lynn at the bottom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I got it all right there. Oh man. So thank you for that question. Your second question is, what is your favorite what are your favorite pairings? I just have one. Korra-sami! Korra-sami! Hashtag smooth sami. Smooth Korra-sami. Doesn't have the same thing as smooth Donatello, I know. So Korra-sami, because let's face it, after book three and after what Korra wrote to Asami, saying that, oh, I can only trust you with what I know, yeah, that thing. Like I've said it once, I'll say it again. The Korra-sami ship is a goddamn helicarrier now. It's not, like, yeah, even Janet Varney, the voice actress for Korra, supports Korra-sami. Yeah, she hated my Korra too. Yeah, so she loves Korra-sami as well. Even the voice, when the voice actresses, because the voice actress for Asami was also very cool with it as well. She was also very cool with Korra-sami. So when the voice actresses are cool with this kind of, cooler with this than the regular pairings, yeah, that is something awesome right there. So there you go, Korra-sami. It was Amora, but then, okay, the only reason I shipped Amora in the past was because I knew Makora was coming, and I was like, man, I just do not care about Makora because it makes no goddamn sense. Both characters, because again, you have to understand that this was in the vein of Book 1, so I had the mindset of being, wow, Book 1 really sucks. So my thing was, I'm going to ship something that is just so out there and probably does have more people interested in it than Makora. Hence, I joined the Amora ship just out to spite the whole sheer stupidity of Makora. If anyone out there is a shipper, a Makora shipper, if anyone out there ships a Makora, I don't have any hate against you. I cannot stand it. If you like it, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. Me personally, I can't stand it. But Korra-sami, because here's the thing. Remember, here's the funny thing. Korra-sami is, the most beloved ship throughout the entire Legend of Korra and even Avatar pairings stuff. Because again, you hear a lot of people going, oh, Korra should be with Mako. No, Korra should be with Bolin. Or Mako should be with Asami. No. And you hear them back and forth. And then when they get to Korra-sami, everyone's like, oh... Because again, Asami makes so much, Korra-sami makes so much sense. And it's so adorable. No one can, even the most diehard Makora shipper will be like, yeah, Korra-sami's kind of awesome. Anyway. So, there you go. Thank you for that question. And your final question is, if they make a third Avatar series, what do you think it'll take place in a modern era? In a modern era, okay. P.S. I freaking love Jason Voorhees' new Icon Chronicles Wrath of the Fallen. It is so amazing. Hey Jason, if you're still here, you just got another shout out. Ta-da. There you go, Jason Voorhees. And if you haven't noticed yet, Robert Larson, a new chapter has appeared. Chapter 10, The Stakeout. And getting back to your question, I think it would be cool to see in the modern era, because again, that would really show that the Avatar is no longer needed. When we got internet, I'd really love to see the kind of internet. Actually, no, I think I'd really be interested to see how bending works on the internet. How the internet works in the world of bending. I really want to see that kind of done. So yeah, something like that, really. That'd be interesting, but I think Mike and Brian, if we do, I don't think we'll ever, I think the only way we'll get more Korra and Avatar stuff in general is through the Dark Horse comics, because I think Mike and Brian are kind of just, they want to end this chapter of their, creative stuff, because I think they've told all the stories they want to tell, and now they just want to, go on to do something else. I'd like to see them do something with Star Wars. Me personally, I think they can do a lot of you look at a lot of Korra stuff, and you look at some of the stuff from Avatar, and you're like, man, you guys can do a lot of you guys just want to do Star Wars, and that was the thing. For those who don't know, not Legend of Korra, Avatar was supposed to be set in the in the far future. It was supposed to have spaceships and shit like that. but they decide to set it in the past. So that gives you your first clue that they want to do something with Star Wars. So if you can get the level of writing we've been getting from book 3 and 4, that kind of Mike and Brian and their team, because again, I know it's not just Mike and Brian who are doing the writing. I know it's like Colin Heck and a few other people who do a lot of writing. But if you get those guys along with Mike and Brian to do something with Star Wars, I think you've got something gold right there. I mean, I'd really like to see them do something. I know there's Star Wars Rebels going on. That doesn't mean, Disney can whore themselves out and do a few more Star Wars series. Just saying. Sending those questions, Robert Larson. Next set of questions come from the Omnitron12345, whose first question is, do you think we could see a spin-off series of Korra since it's now technically a web show? I think it's a possibility, but again, I don't think that's going to happen because, again, I think Mike and Brian and everyone else on Legend of Korra, they want to kind of end. I feel like, yeah, they kind of just want to end the series and, put that series to bed. I think it's, they feel like it's run its course, and again, I feel like, again, if you keep doing more Avatar stuff, it's going to wear thin. I mean, book 1 and 2 kind of wore on all of our nerves. I mean, 3 and 4 were the, really kind of reignited that passion. But on the other hand, I think they just want to move on to something else, and that's totally fine. Sometimes creators just want to go on to something else, like Gennady Karkovsky. He kind of said in an interview, I kind of don't want to do anything more with Samurai Jack. I kind of want to move on, I kind of want to tell more stories with different characters. Yeah, as much as I'd like to see more Avatar stuff, I can understand wanting to end this, wanting to end this series. But it would be cool. It would be cool to see a spin-off series. Only if we get a Varric spin-off series. We get a Varric spin-off series, I'm fine. Second question: If you could have any cast of characters from any anime existing in Republic City, who would it be? The characters from Cowboy Bebop would be amazing. The characters from Slayers would also be awesome. And Slayers, Cowboy Bebop, Big O. There you go, Big O. So there you go, Omnitron. Next question is, do you think Book 4 so far has been a very Man of Steel vibe in regards of Korra herself? From what we've seen, it actually, again, I've said this before, it feels more like something like Batman and Luke Skywalker put together. That whole kind of broken down kind of feeling. It's kind of like when Bruce got his back broke by Bane in the comics, and how physically and mentally destroyed he was. And it also again has that feeling of Luke Skywalker of after being again physically and mentally broken down after his fight in Empire Strikes Back. They have to rise back up and kind of face themselves. So again, it feels more like Batman and it has a Batman Luke Skywalker kind of feel with that. But I can see where you're coming from, the Man of Steel vibe, Omnitron. Next set of questions come from the Spawn 117, who asks, what do you think of a Legend of Korra Darksiders crossover? And a Legend of Korra Guardians of the Galaxy crossover, Legend of Korra Castlevania crossover, and yeah, okay. First off, Korra and Darksiders. They're the four horsemen of the apocalypse. I'm pretty sure Korra would get horribly beaten, especially by war and death. Korra at Legend of Korra Guardians of the Galaxy, that would be so much fun because it would be kind of awesome to see Korra and Gamora hang out and team up. Also, Star-Lord kind of macking on Asami, and to which Gamora would go, knock it off, Quill. Then you have Rocket Raccoon kind of pick off, hang out and get, him and Bolin would not, or Mako would get along. Like, Mako would be talking to Raccoon and Rocket and be like, dude, who is, what is with the talking rat? What the fuck do you say, boy? And finally, the Castlevania crossover. That'd be really fun. Korra fighting Dracula. That would be pretty cool. That's all I got to say about that. So second question is, what are your thoughts on the Naruto-Korra pairing? I can see where people are coming from, because again, Naruto is loud, headstrong, doesn't listen to anybody, and usually gets all of his powers from convenience. Hate to say it, but that's true with Naruto. I really hate to say it, but yeah, that's kind of true. But yeah, I can see where it's coming from. I think I'm totally cool with Naruto and Korra together. I think that really makes a lot of sense, and I could see them playing off one another. I think that'd be kind of cool. Your final question is, what would happen if Korra got the Witchblade? The reason I asked this is because I read a fan fiction called Witchblade Sakura, which Sakura gets the Witchblade, and it got me thinking, what if Korra got the Witchblade? If Korra got the Witchblade, she would be so overpowered, it wouldn't even be funny. Like, mixing the elements with the power of the Witchblade, that would be something amazing. And it would be really interesting to see how the Witchblade would interact with all the elements, and how it would kind of, merge with the Avatar state. That would be something I would be really curious to see happen. So I think that would be something to behold, that's for sure. So I think those questions, the Spawn 117, moving now on to Malingar. Malingar's first question is, in the recent release of Alien Isolation, I thought it would be appropriate to see what would you like to see in an Aliens Korra crossover. And if you were... Alien Korra crossover. That would be really interesting. Like, maybe you could have it that a Predator ship crash-landed on Earth thousands of years ago, a Earth Kingdom mining team or Fire Nation mining team finds the ship, they go missing, and Korra goes in to investigate, and they discover that, SpaghettiOs, aliens everywhere. Okay, I don't know if you're too familiar with the Rooster Teeth series RWBY. Again, guys, I haven't watched RWBY. I know, I have not watched RWBY. It's on my to-do list. Don't worry, it is on my to-do list. I've got just so much shit to go through. I'm sorry. So I don't know if I can answer that question. I'm sorry, Malingar. I don't think I'll be able to answer that question. Your third question is, should lava bending really be something special? Shouldn't any earthbender be able to do it? Why should superheated rock make it harder to bend than metal? Waterbenders don't act that way with ice and steam. That's a good ass question. I didn't think about that till you brought it up. Yeah, it shouldn't be harder to bend than metal, because it's just superheated earth. I mean, waterbenders can just take ice and snow and even steam and use it to their advantage. Why is earth bending, have that problem? I mean, metal bending is very tough. Lava bending, it's just earth right there. It's just superheated. It shouldn't be that kind of problem. I mean, summoning would probably be a bigger problem, and creating it would probably be a problem in of itself. But controlling it, I don't know. Like, you'd think more people would be lava benders. I don't know. That's a good ass question. I didn't think about that till you brought it up, Malingar. But thank you regardless for it. That's a good question. I don't know. Thank you for those questions, Malingar. Next comes Andre Partridge. And first question is, which girl in the series do you think Opal is better off with in terms of relationship, Eska or Opal? I'm fine with either. Opal is adorable. Eska was awesome. Again, I'm pretty sure she'd be into anal. I said that again. I'm sorry. And I'm fine with either. I'm kind of fine with either Eska or Opal with Bolin. Although I don't think Bolin and Eska are going to have much of a relationship soon. Don't think that at all. So anyway, I'm fine with either, Andre. Your next question is, what do you think the main cast of the series would do if they were to ever encounter face off against alien invaders, like aliens in general? Okay, not just like creatures from Alien or Mars Attacks. That would be something to behold, an alien invasion in the world of benders. Because they think they're just like, there's spirits everywhere, there's no need to go looking beyond the stars. I don't think, we're not just one world, oh god, no. It's kind of like that in the early days of the Transformers Avatar Chronicles, because then people were like, oh shit, we're not the only people in the universe, there's these guys out there too, and some of them are assholes. That'd be... I don't know how you could do that without making it look stupid, but it would be awesome at the same time. We managed, Jason and I managed to do that in Transformers Avatar Chronicles. Um, Again, shameless plug. I'm really good at that, apparently. Okay, which concept is more... Your final question is, which concept is more plausible of an idea that could be introduced into the world of Legend of Korra, and why? Firearms or shapeshifting? I'm going to say firearms because we have water arms. I'm pretty sure firebending to make arms is probably easy as well. So thank you for those questions, Andre Partridge. Next comes Joaquim Morgan. Joaquim Morgan. I really am sorry. I deeply apologize, sir, if I completely butchered your name. I'm terribly sorry if I butchered your name. So your question is, how would you write a Legend of Korra Thor crossover? How would I write a Legend of Korra Thor crossover? I think how I would do it is that Thor is interested. He hears about the legends of the Avatar, and he's curious to know, could Korra, be considered a god? So he goes down to Earth to find her, and maybe have a frost giant invasion in Republic City. Maybe have that. I don't know. Again, you see, here's the problem with crossover questions, because again, I have to kind of let an idea fester in my head and kind of think of something plausible. I could probably think of something better than that if I thought about it more, but it just takes me a while, But I think that would be kind of the general idea right there. So thank you for that question. Next comes Matt Kaiser 08, who asks, what would you do with a Korra Godzilla crossover? Make it awesome, duh. With Korra and Godzilla, I'd probably have it that, kaiju are waking up around the world, and Korra and her friends are trying to investigate why exactly kaiju are waking up. And again, Jason Voorhees and I are working on something. Not gonna say much, but we're working on something. And again, for those wondering, I'm answering Matt's question because he's asked. It's not the other person asked, what would people Korra think of kaiju roaming the Earth? With Matt, he's asking specifically Godzilla and Korra as a crossover. So that's why I'm answering it. So loophole. Second question: if Korra, Mako, Bolin, and Asami had their own personal Zords, what would they be and why? Korra's Zord would be the Polar Bear Dog Zord. Asami's would be Falcon Zord. Mako's would be Dragon Zord. Bolin would be, I don't know, Badger Mole Zord. I don't know. That's what all I can think of right there. So thank you for those questions, Matt Kaiser 08. Moving on to Wolfman the Impaler, who asks, kill, marry, fuck, Korra, Asami, or Eska? Man, what is it with you guys and, all the sex questions with Korra? Man. Man. So fuck, marry... Okay, I asked this because Lord knows Boo Rat would anyway. Smart man, I like that. So, kill, marry... This is tough because they're all on my fuck... Well, Korra's not on my fuck list. She's attractive, I just... I don't know. I think I would kill Korra, because again, she could come back in another form. Fuck Eska, because again, she's freaky. She's probably freaky. In the word, she's a super freak. She's super freaky. In the words of Rick James. Bitch. I apologize. I deeply apologize. I do. And marry Asami, so I can fuck her all I want. There you go. Thank you for that question, Wolfman the Impaler. If nuclear power was harnessed in the world of Avatar, do you think there'd be radiation benders in the future? Probably. I would not be surprised if we got radiation bending was a form of fire bending. I don't know why I connect that with fire bending. I don't know. Radiation's hot and it kills you. Fire's hot and it kills you. Yeah. I mean, with radiation bending, it would suck to fight a radiation bender. Like, he would just point his finger at you and go, "You're sterile now." No! Wait, you did me a favor. Yay! That was all. Again, that was awful. I apologize. Your final question is, what kaiju do you think would fit in the world of Avatar? Okay, I'm going to answer this question because it's not like with the other ones where it's. This is asking what type of kaiju would fit into the world of Avatar. More, not like what would Korra's group handle kaiju or Godzilla crossover. This is asking what type of kaiju, what types of kaiju would work in the world of Avatar. Gyra and Sanda, Anguirus, Baragon, Rodan, Mothra, Zilla, Titanosaurus, Kumonga, Gorosaurus, Megagyrus. Those for the Godzilla ones. For the other one, for Gamera, I'm gonna say Gamera, Gauss, Barugun, Jaeger, and Iris. There you go. I would go list through all the other kaiju, but yeah. Thank you for those questions, Wolfman the Impaler. Next comes XB Pastrana. I really hope I didn't butcher that name, but at XB Pastrana, and apparently I'm not, according to XB, or this person said it himself, or herself. Excuse me. Okay, first question. Who do you think is more badass, Lin Beifong or Ming Hua? Well, Lin Beifong's still alive, so that's got to help in the badass factor. You can't deny, still being alive counts as a badass. But Ming Hua was pretty awesome too. Before she got tricked by Mako and then got electrocuted, which I still don't understand because again, Zuko said one bender couldn't take them on alone, and yet she kind of makes this very amateur mistake and gets fried. I don't know. That just still bugs me. I don't know. So they're both badass, and Ming Hua was really awesome, but I'm gonna give it to Lin. But Ming Hua was really awesome too. Next question is, what was your favorite cameo in Legend of Korra? Well, I wouldn't really say cameo, but it was so good to see Zuko again. It was really cool to see Lord Zuko again, and even help Korra. That was really cool. But I think the best cameo is Zhao's cameo was just hilarious because that bastard really did die. Now all we need is a cameo of Jet, and I'm fine. But also Iroh. It was so good to see Iroh once more. I mean, no one saw this coming when he showed up in the spirit world. It was like, Iroh, whoa. And your third question is, who is your go-to ship? I've already answered this question, XB, and like I said earlier, it's Korrasami, because Korrasami for the win. So thanks for those questions, XB. Moving right along to Travis Frendon, whose first question is, how would you feel if they made an episode in which Korra and the team made a parody of a female warrior, met a team of warriors? Basically what Travis is asking is, what if the group met a group, a version of benders or a civilization that were like Amazons? Poor Bolin and Mako and Tenzin, death by snoo snoo. That's all I can say. Death by snoo snoo. That's all I have to say. Second question. Would you marry Kuvira, and would you be afraid or happy? Like I said earlier, I like a girl who can kick my ass, so... And again, Kuvira is probably that kind of freak, so... I'm gonna give you a maybe? Right there, I'm gonna give you a maybe. Okay, your final question is, since we've seen Iroh in the spirit world already, would you like to see other characters like Sokka, Suki, and the other Last Airbender characters who appear there? I would love to see that. In fact, I've got a feeling that Korra, just a back of my mind, I have this weird thing in the back of my head. Like, I'm kind of thinking not Korra, Katara might pass away in this season. Like, she passes away of old age. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe I wouldn't put it past him either. Like, maybe Katara passes away from old age, and what happens is that she's going to the spirit world, and she sees, Sokka, Suki, she sees all these, all of her friends, and at the end of the tunnel, end of this line of friends she keeps running into, she sees Aang with his hand out, stretched out, like, offering her take with the spirit world, and I'm like, feels, but also such a ripoff of the ending scene from Titanic. I know, that's sorry, but I can't help but think that, so thank you for that question, Travis. Next comes Predator Warrior 18, and your first question is, if Godzilla ever appeared in Legend of Korra and started a rampaging in Republic City or anywhere else, do you think Korra will try to stop him? And if it didn't work, what would she try next? I kind of answered this question already with the. Well, it's more specific, really, is because this is more asking if Godzilla attacked Republic City. I think Korra would be like, "Fuck, I don't know what to do." She would just be like, "Oh shit, I really have no idea what to do in this situation." So I don't know what to tell you right there. Next question. Oh wait, that was the only question. Next set of questions come from ActionFan19, and his question is: do you think Kuvira could fit as a general of Hydra? Oh yeah, she's got all the makings of something Baron von Strucker would go, yeah, you're in. And second question is: what would happen if the symbiote latched itself to Korra? We're all fucked. We're all fucked. That's all I can say. We are all fucked. So thank you for those. I know that was pretty short, but it's kind of like 12 in the morning, and I've got work in the mornings, so I'm kind of trying to blaze through some of these questions. But yeah, like I said, we're all fucked. Next set of questions come from Hornpile Phoenix, who asks, do you think this season will be more with Bolin to do more with Bolin than make him a comedic relief? I really think so. I think they've kind of realized, Bolin's annoying, let's give him a character. So I think, and because again, that first episode from the season was like, it really showed that he's the naive soldier who wants to do good, even though he doesn't realize what he's doing is bad. So I think, yeah, we're probably going to get a lot of character development from Bolin this season. At least I hope. From that one episode, it made me a little hopeful. Okay, your second question is, you could create a new type of subbending or expand on an existing one. What would it be and how would you do it? I think what I would do is maybe, again, I've talked about this already, shadow bending or storm bending. I don't know what it would be a subclass for shadow bending of the original four, but definitely make storm bending a new air bending style. So thank you for that question. Your final one is, if the world of Avatar launched a space program, what kind of things would you imagine to be in their universe or planets or elements of bending maybe? That'd be kind of interesting. Like maybe they go to other, like far future, they go to colonize other worlds, and there's aliens out there that can bend all new types of elements. That'd be kind of cool. Again, sorry, I had to get some water. So that'd be really interesting. I kind of imagine them in these big, like even bigger mech suits, like Gundam-sized mech suits colonizing planets. That's how I'm kind of seeing it right now. So thank you for those questions, Hornpile. Next ones come from Alex Inayas. I really do apologize if I butchered that last name, Alex, but your first one is, do you think kaiju would be able to exist in the world of Avatar? Oh yeah, I think that would be a possibility. And which kaiju... Okay, I've already answered that one. Like I've said, Anguirus, Mothra, and a few others. But yeah, I've already answered that one. But to answer your question, I think it's possible to see kaiju in that world. I think it would be a possibility. Next question comes from Jerkwater100, who asks, if you discovered that you could airbend, would you join the Air Nation? Yeah, because I don't want to fart and shoot 50 feet in the air, dude. Of course I want to control my airbending. So yeah, I would. Second question from Jerkwater 100 is, what would Zahir think of Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul? I think they would I think Zahir would become one of his disciples. That's a definite. Zahir would definitely be interested in the whole this was not the whole philosophy that the League of Assassins have, and I think he would just be like, where do I sign up? So I think Zahir and him would get along just fine because their philosophies are so close to one another. And your final question is, which bending teacher would you like to learn from? Toph. There you go. Even though, so yeah, Toph, like right off the bat, no shame. Christian Sager asks, who is the better Master of Darkness? Vatu, him, Aku, Chernabog? Okay, Christian Sager asks, who is the better Lord of Darkness? Vatu, him, Aku, or Chernabog from the Disney Fantasia movie? I'm going to say, Aku, the ancient shape-shifting wizard of darkness. Vatu's the Lord of Chaos, and him is pretty dark too, but actually him, I'm going to give it to him, because him was the Lord, he was literally the devil. He was literally the devil, guys. So I'm going to give it to him. And how long would it take for them to kill each other off? Better move that to a parallel universe, because it would take them years to kill one another. Second question, do you think there could be a mini-series, cartoon, or comic that would detail the lives of previous avatars? I really think there's a potential for Dark Horse to do comic book series to talk about each different avatar. Do little mini-series for each avatar. Like, do a mini-series on Kyoshi, do a mini on Roku, do a mini on Yang Chen. I think there is a lot of stuff to do it for the comics. And, okay, I'm going to answer this one because it's a little more specific. If Xenomorphs invaded the world of Avatar, do you think that Chessbusters could bend if they popped out of benders? I think it's a possibility because there was a Wildcats Aliens crossover where most of the Stormwatch characters got chest busted and murdered, and one of them chest busted out of Fahrenheit, and that Xenomorph could use her fire powers. So yeah, I think it would be possible to see like Xenomorphs be able to not really control them like actual benders, but maybe some of them that busted out of some chest busters. Like one Xenomorph could breathe fire, another could probably swim, will be more like aquatic. If it busted out of a waterbender, not really control the water, but more like a aquatic type. And you have an earthbender chestbuster that would be stronger and bigger built, more muscular. And an airbender one, I don't know. Maybe it can fly. There you go, flying one. Same to that question. Next set of questions come from Shelley Moore, whose first question is, what is your favorite type of bending? Fire bending. Can't go wrong with a little heat. And again, I apologize if I butchered that name. So thank you for that question. Your final one is, who is your favorite avatar so far? Gotta give it to Aang. I know, again, sounds biased, but hey man, it's Aang. You can't go wrong with Aang. Next set of questions come from Treva Smolka, who asks, what is your prediction for this last season, and do you think that that this season is going to end with a bang or a complete letdown? I'm really hoping it goes off with a bang. I really do. Because again, we've seen so much great writing from this. I think it would be a crime if it didn't end, awesomely. And that's now a word. Second question, if Legend of Korra ever had a crossover with Dragon Ball's characters, which heroes and villains would you choose to team up with Korra and its Z-Fighters? Just wondering. Okay, Dragon Ball Z and Legend of Korra. Goku and Korra, that's a given. I guess Lin and Piccolo, Krillin and Bolin to get hanging out, Asami and 18, or Asami and Bulma. There you go, Asami and Bulma, and Vegeta and Mako. There you go. Just see those guys team up, and Zahir team up with... I don't know. I really don't know for villains. And your third question is, with Legend of Korra coming to an end, I'm just wondering, are we going to see more of this universe in animation form, or are the creators just going to move on to something different? I've kind of said this before, I think they're going to move on to something else. I think it's a big possibility that they are going to move on to something else in their universe. I think it is a possibility that it's going to move on into a bigger universe. I think they want to move on, not in their own universe, but I think they want to move on to something else and just kind of let the fans kind of do what they want with it and kind of play around that toy box. That's a given, I think. I think that's the best way they could do it. And your final that was your final question. So thank you for that question. Those questions, Trevor Smolka, and the next set of questions come from Serpent Talata, who asks, first one: if you could design physically and mentally the next Avatar, what character will you do? How would I create my own Avatar? And I think you're right, Serpent. It's I think it is Earth in the next line. The Earth, an Earthbender in the next line after Korra. I think that that I would do something not like a headstrong Earthbender, but more like someone who was like Aang, who didn't want to be the Avatar, because again, being the Avatar is a huge ass responsibility. It is a massive, just gigantic responsibility for someone to take over. It's just something that someone just does not want to do for their lives. It's just not fun. But I think that would do something like that, where it's someone who's just like, man, this is a sucky job, but I gotta do it. And not be a bitch about it either. Not bitch about it. That'd be the other thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, Aang is a great character, and again, he understood that what he was doing was for the betterment of all benders, so I think he would be, and again, I think it would be someone with Aang's kind of personality of, well, being the Avatar is a tough job, but I gotta do it. So yeah. Next question is, if there is a next season or comic book in the world of Avatar, what would you want to see? Past world or future world? The past of the world or the future of the world? I think it would be cool to see what the world was like before Aang. I'm always curious, what kind of world was it like for the other Avatars? Was it more like where they, I'm really curious to see how the Four Nations kind of became the Four Nations, and what kind of the little things that built up to the the beginning of the the Fire Nation, and the creation of the Earth Kingdom, and the birth of the Air Nomads, and the creation of the Water Tribe, and the creation of the southern the breaking off to the Southern Water Tribe, all that kind of stuff. That's really interesting to me. So yeah, your final question is: of all the Avatars, which one would you pick for writing a fanfic? I'd really like to write a Kyoshi fanfic. I really would. I think Kyoshi is such a badass. So I think it would be really cool to write a Kyoshi-centric fanfic. I really would like to write something with her. And another one would probably be Avatar Karuk, possibly. He was kind of like Korra before, he was kind of like Korra, but then, the code kind of took your girlfriend's face. Oops. So thank you for those questions, Serpent Talata. And next comes Shadowwalker343, who asks, if Korra accidentally entered the Gravity Falls universe, will the journals have something knowledge on the Avatar? With the journals, they always have something on the Avatar. I mean, journals would probably have something on the Avatar, is what I meant to say. So I think it's a possibility, because they have a knowledge on everything. So thank you for that question. Next one is, what happens if IDW buys the rights to Legend of Korra? Oh, I'd be dancing. It would literally be me doing the safety dance. Enjoy a joyous safety dance. That's what I would do. A joyous safety dance in just joy, because IDW knows what to do with titles. I mean, not to say Dark Horse doesn't, because they've done a lot of great things with the Alien and Predator titles. But I don't know. I think it would just get a different writer, and I'm really not liking. I don't know if it's like Nickelodeon telling them to do this, or their idea, or I don't know who's telling them to do. But I think it would be better off. And again, they were really good at Star Wars, but yeah, we now know they're being reverted over to Star Wars is going over to Marvel. But yeah, they were really good with Alien and Predator and Star Wars. So, I don't know. Like, I would like to see it at IDW, but I still have hope Dark Horse will be like, okay, we got to get our shit together for something else. So thank you for that question. And your final one is, which character would you ship with Asami as a crossover ship? Okay, as a crossover ship. That's a tough-ass question. Maybe Donatello from Ninja Turtles? Maybe Donnie? I don't know. Donnie's the only one I got. I'm going to have to dig around. That's a good question, I think. But all I got is Donnie so far, so yeah. So thank you for that question. Are those questions Shadow Walker? Or Shadow Waker? Shadow Waker, yeah, sorry. Shadow Waker 343. I'm sorry I butchered that name. And Yoshiki-chan 113. Yoshiki, again, I really apologize if I just butchered that name, but Yoshiki-chan asks, if it is at all possible, could you do a Legend of Korra overall series review when it's over, please? It's a possibility. I think it is a possibility that I could do a review on a whole of Legend of Korra. I think, but then again, I think there would be something where I'd have to get other people, and again, I've said this before on my channel, on my videos before, where I've got a new computer and it doesn't have a built-in mic in it to allow me to communicate with other people. I mean, I can talk to them, but they can't talk to me, if that makes any sense at all. So, I think it would be something. But again, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It is not in no way, shape, or form out of the realm of possibility for me to do a review of Legend of Korra on a whole. But yeah, thank you for those questions, guys. Also, Yoshiki-chan, I saw your comment on the Legend of Korra, on my newest review of Legend of Korra episode, the Korra Alone, as of this recording. Once again, that was the newest episode as of this recording. And I read your comment on my channel. I read your comment on the video, and peace. I mean, that was really moving. I was really touched by that comment you left. I was, again, that was really moving, guys. I'm really glad Korra managed, Korra, who was such an unlikable character, managed to be such an inspiration. And again, I'm kind of upset, and I've said this before earlier in the video, why couldn't we have gotten this in the previous two books? Because what you said was really, it took a lot of guts to say what you said in that comment. And, more power to you, because man. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys once again for this Q&A. I think this might be my longest Q&A yet, and I'm really tired. But I decided, you know what, I want to do this Q&A before I, haul off to sleep, because I've been kind of putting it off. And once again, I hope, if I didn't answer someone's question, if I forgot to answer someone's question, that usually means that YouTube was being a total dick and decided to mark the person asking the question as spam, or didn't even show up at all. So I'm really sorry about that, because again, YouTube can be a dick sometimes. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I know it was kind of long, but I hope you guys stuck around all the way through. And once again, hope you guys enjoyed this on a whole, and I'm out.